Hey, what's going on, everybody? And welcome to another episode of Porch Perspectives. You know how we do it. We find things to talk about. We just having fun talking on our virtual porch because it's not that time of year to be going outside on the porch. But yet, here we are once again. Joining me live from the great state of North Carolina is Miss Nikki Red herself. How we doing tonight?
I'm sick,
Hey,
but I feel fine.
yeah, you're pushing through. I said, you know what? I said I'll go ahead and step up and kind of moderate and host it tonight and go from there and make it do what it do. First of all, shout out to everyone that's been watching, rating, reviewing, and subscribing. Please keep on doing that. Share it to share your friends. Hit the like and subscribe button. If you want that notification where you don't miss nothing, tap that bell because when you tap that bell, it pops up with a new episode of Porch Perspectives. That way you don't miss nothing. Check out the Facebook group, shorts, reels, all this good stuff coming up here on the virtual porch. One day we should all get together and get on an actual porch. Just make sure it's screened in because I don't feel like fighting no damn mosquitoes. Mm, mm.
Me neither.
Yeah, can't be wearing none of that,
Oh,
can't be wearing none of that good sweet smell good lotion. You know, I like to wear that lotion to make me smell good. And them doggone mosquitoes, they be, yeah, man, get out of here, man. You know, like, oh, you got that northern blood. Oh, it's good and thick. Ugh. Oh, no, get,
or that outside of South Carolina blood, because I tell you,
yeah,
the mosquitoes down there ain't nothing to play with.
yeah. We had this one guy on the football team. Uh, he has since passed away. And the joke was, he was the smallest guy on the team. And the joke was, when we would go to Georgetown to play the Bulldogs of football, play Georgetown. Of course, you know, Georgetown, I guess, was either paper city or or steel city. Either way, it had a mill, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the running and like if even where like the high school is back in the day, you could smell it.
Yes.
Yeah, you could smell it. As I got older, I could never smell it, but you can smell the stench. And some people used to call that the smell of money. But we'd go down there and we played it one time. I was like, look, we better get little Charles over here, man, because them doggone radioactive mosquitoes gonna come through and swoop him up. Because he was so little, and we always be like, yeah, them doggone mosquitoes down there in Georgetown so doggone big. But shout out to Georgetown. I got nothing but love for the city of Georgetown. Shout out to Big Mike, the mayor, rap extraordinaire down there. Shout out to everybody in the 843 in Georgetown. And I'm telling you, if you're not familiar with the lingo in Georgetown, how they talk is, it's that thick Geechee accent. Like, like where I'm from in Norway County, sound kind of normal, sound regular, everything. But once you hit that county line, it gets real different real quick.
Real. Man, I tell you. So, real quick before we get into our topic
Mm,
for tonight, let me tell you my story about dealing with the Geechee community in South
love you all to
Carolina.
death, we do.
Oh, yeah, we do. You guys are awesome. Even though I feel, okay, let me go ahead and get into it. So, I was working for a timeshare
Hmm.
company doing housekeeping, and we had different properties in Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach,
Hmm.
Charleston, just different areas up and down, in the area. We ended up getting asked to go to Charleston, Edisto Island, for some condominium
Hmm.
cleanings, which is fine. I'm like, heck yeah, y'all paying me for travel, y'all paying me room and board, y'all putting me up in a hotel, and y'all paying me
Hmm.
food. Y'all are buying my food for me. Yes, I'm there. I get down here, we're cleaning up, and we're meeting the local housekeeping
Hmm.
crew. They're Geechee. I did not know. This is my first time ever meeting a
Oh, this is
Geechee
your
in my
first
life.
time. Oh, I can't wait to hear the rest of the story. It's gonna be good.
When I tell you, I'm not going to mention the person that I was with at the time, but the person that I was with is familiar with the Geechee
Hmm.
community, not I. And this lady said she was talking to me, but I didn't understand what she was
I'm telling you.
saying. And I felt stupid because I'm like, phone a friend.
Yeah.
And he came and he was like, oh no, she just wants a cigarette.
What? She said what again? She said what?
She wants a cigarette. But that's not what she called it. And this was so many years ago, I could not tell you what she said, but the conversation did not include cigarette or anything like
Yeah.
cigarette or anything that I could relate to cigarette. It was just something I've never heard before. But it's a beautiful. culture. Like, I
Mm,
love it. I'm here for it.
yeah.
I just didn't understand. It's like throwing me in the middle of France somewhere, and I don't speak. I'm not French. I don't know.
That's why.
And maybe that's probably part of what it is. I
Yeah.
don't know, but I don't. I loved it. The food was great. Everything was amazing. I mean, it is beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous. I mean, I'm into scenery, so just being out there on the
Hmm.
waterfront, and it's kind of like not swampy, but kind of swampy. You know how
Yeah.
Charleston is. And we saw alligators, we saw the blue herons. I mean, we saw all kinds of wildlife out there. It was so beautiful, but I couldn't understand a word that was being said to me. And that's my brief interaction with our Geechee community, our Geechee cousins
I'll
down there
get
in
your
South
cousin down there. We
Carolina.
love it.
Hey,
I'll tell a quick story. I think it was my senior year of high school, and we had a strength meet. I think it was North Myrtle Beach, Carolina Forest, Georgetown, Lake City, Aner, like a lot of the nearby schools in that area. And we all linked up at Carolina Forest High School. So we doing like the incline press, the bench press, the squats, relays back and forth and everything. And so, you saw the crew from Georgetown coming and everything. And so this one dude was like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Hey, man, how long you is?" Say it again. I say, "How long you is?" I'm like, "You don't need to know nothing about that particular part of me." He's like, "No." He's like, "No, no, no, long." "Oh, how tall am I?" "I'm 6 feet tall." Okay, okay, man. That's what I mean by long. How long you is? That's okay. It makes sense. It was awkward. I'm like, "What in the hell? What did you talk about?" I'm like, and he was just real upfront, like, hey man, how long you is?" Excuse me, sir. It just threw me
that's a
for a
pressing
loop.
question.
It just threw me for a freaking loop. And then I remember when I went to New Jersey back in the late '90s after my father passed away to go visit some family up there. Um, it was these kids that stayed by my uncle's apartment, like right around the corner, whatever, right? And the kids were like, they had those thick New Jersey accents, black kids, right? And they look at me and they were like,
Hmm.
"Where you from?" I'm like, "I'm from South Carolina." "You country, you talk Geechee." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "What you know about Geechee?" I'm like, "No, man." I'm like, "Man, I'm from the beach, man. I don't know what you're talking. I'm not no Geechee." And I didn't say that as a sense of shame, but I'm like, "Look, I'm from the beach. I don't talk Geechee. Now, if you want some people to talk Geechee, I can get them for you real quick. I can get them for you. Yeah, no doubt about it. I can get them for you, man." I was like, I think the country twang kind of threw him off on my son. I am not a geek. Like I said, this is not a backhanded compliment to Georgetown, Charleston, or the Low Country. It's just sometimes that people tend to get it confused, and you're hard to understand. But the thing about it is, I follow a few geeches on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, I'm back for me with it. I don't feel out of place because I remember I lived up north for 4 years. And then when I came back to South Carolina, the
Hmm.
twang was like something new, and I was like, "Man, what in the heck?" I was like, "Okay, I'm back, I'm back." So, shout out to Georgetown, Beaufort, Charleston, and all points in between. Miss Red, you ready to get into tonight's topic or discussion, or whatever the hell we're gonna talk about?
I am so
All right, so
ready. Yes,
all
let's
right,
get
so
it.
earlier
Let's get it.
today, I called myself making chicken ball. Okay, we had a conversation about food earlier today. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've made better batches. I don't know what's missing from this one. I made sure I seasoned it good. I didn't know if I had too much rice because it called for X amount of rice and it called for X amount of stuff. And I was like, it might be off. And I can hear some people now, you ain't got no ham hocks and neck bones in there. I don't do that as much. I really don't do that. And I think I don't know what's missing, but you know, I can doctor it up. I know I can do that. I'll still eat it. I definitely do that. I have my parboiled rice. I have my sausage chopped up, my onions, my garlic, my my array of seasonings as I'm looking at my spice rack over here is my I got like a rack that's from here to here, and I'm like, oh, this is a spice rack. I could just grab and put back, grab and put back, grab and put back. So I got my seasonings there. So I mean, I don't know. It didn't come out like I thought it would, because like I said, I've had better versions of it that I've made, and I
Mm.
don't know. Maybe after a day or two, it'll the flavors will marry and marinate and get together and start doing this, and maybe it'll taste better. So I'm hoping,
You know that's how it usually happens. So, leftovers are usually better the next
especially
day or the
pasta,
day
especially
after.
spaghetti.
Yeah. But as far as that chicken bug, well, let me tell you something. Based on our
Mm,
conversation that we were having, I don't know if it's just me or maybe it's just the fact that I haven't been down to South Carolina. I
mm,
haven't been home in a while. But, and this comes with age and getting older and things changing.
mm,
Everybody, we all go through it. Remember when we were younger, back in high
mm,
school, maybe even? There was always that person, and there was a few of them when I was young, when we were younger, growing up. There were a few people in Horry County that were I mean, they were the bomb.com when it came to chicken bog, when they had the
yeah.
bog
Oh
offs and
my
all that
god.
stuff. Like, I'm sure they
Oh.
do it now, but the ones that we actually
Mm.
personally knew, they're not here anymore. We actually were talking about it like, who do we know that could make a good chicken bog at our age range and our age group? And we could only like really name one person that's going to be a good
Yeah,
source
and
at the
and
time.
that's it, man. Because I haven't had too many people close to our age. I haven't had their chicken bog. It's always been the older generation's chicken bog, like my mom's chicken bog and my uncle's chicken bog, and I've had those versions, and I'm like, those are phenomenal. Those are good because
Nice.
every time I go home, there's a person that's designated. Hey, you cooking the chicken bog? You know, yeah, you cooking the chicken bog because you
Yes.
that's something you don't want to experiment with. I think I can. I might be able to.
Mm-mm.
I need certainties when I come home. I need my chicken bog. I don't need no. Oh, I don't know. I might. I need certainties because everybody can't cook chicken bog. It's just some people call themselves.
Mm.
Some people call
It's
themselves
either
trying to
like,
cook it, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? And it's just, and or it was. It's. I'll just say this. It's wild. Sometimes it doesn't go like they plan it, and I'll leave it as that.
I can tell you this much from my experience because I've had
Mhm,
different people make it. I will say this one. And God rest his soul, but my uncle made the best chicken bog I've
mhm,
ever eaten in my life. And his name rang
mhm,
bells, Red Bluff area. He's from Horry County, but his name rang bells in
mhm.
Red Bluff. Like my Uncle Rob, anytime there was a function and he had
Oh,
that big barrel grill out. Oh,
that
he
big
was the
old
he was the
pot, man.
designated
Oh
cook
my
for
God,
everything.
it's
Come on now. He had the barrel grill and the big pot full to the
mhm,
top of chicken bog. Ain't too many people that can do those things anymore. Like I don't know where they're at, or I don't know if they're all gone, but I miss it. Like when I go back home, I don't me
mhm,
personally, I don't know nobody anyway. But when I do go down, I'm like, okay,
yeah.
who's gonna cook? Who gonna cook? We don't have no get-togethers where we have. I got, I got to figure out my people because I want some
Yeah,
chicken
you
ball.
really have to. Yeah, you really got to figure it out because it's kind of like, all right, I want some chicken bone. I got to figure out who the hell who cook. He cook, yeah, okay. Well, she cook, yeah. Last time he cooked it, he burned it. Last time he cooked, it was the rice was too sticky and everything. You just have to know,
It's
like,
all
when it
good.
comes to cooking that chicken ball, man. You just have to know, like, who's cooking it, because that's very crucial, very important, very vital when it comes to consuming this wonderful chicken ball. I swear it is. Yeah, my schedule for my job just came out, so I'm just over here looking at some stuff and don't mind.
No, you're fine. I think what we need to do one day is we need to find out when they're gonna have because they
Yes,
still do the bog
it's
offs.
in late October of every year.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do this year. We're gonna go out
Oh, we
this
gotta
year,
go.
and we're
Gotta
gonna
go.
go to the bog off. We got to figure this out. We got to find it. Now, I will say this much. Since I've been here in North Carolina, my
Hmm.
in-laws, they still do it now. They still do it good. They do it fantastic. Um, my wife's uncle. Last time he made some chicken bog, I was there for
Mm,
it. I was here for it. You hear me? It had been so long since I've had it. But of course, dealing with different
mm,
dietary needs or wants,
right.
my other half doesn't eat pork, for instance. So I've got to be careful about, okay, what kind of
Mm,
sausage are you guys using? Because she ain't gonna eat it. Me, on the other hand, oh, I'm a step. I'm a step. I'm
yeah.
a step big time. I'm a step. You give me the pork sausage. I don't care, but I need that real authentic chicken bog. And when I tell you, when my uncle-in-law makes that chicken bog, the last time he made it, that I was aware, I was in attendance for. I want to say it was last August. Man, when I tell you,
I think
I was in heaven.
that thing had that
I was
Roger
in
Wood sausage
heaven.
in it
It
too.
was so
Ooh,
good.
man.
I don't know what
It's
sausage it had in it, but it had the sausage,
it's
so
the
I didn't
Roger
care.
Wood sausage too.
I'm like, okay, look, it's the first time in a while. Like I said, it was the first time in a while
Mm,
that I had it. Got my stomach, look, got me rubbing my stomach now. But then it's like it's funny because now my mother-in-law, she cooks her chicken and rice, and she's got her cooking skills are phenomenal. Like I don't care what it is.
mm,
I literally, okay, mind you, like I said, I'm sick. I told her yesterday, I said, look, I don't mean to bother you
mm,
because she's been doing a great job helping take care of me and whatnot. Because I've been on my baby mode lately. But I asked her, I was like, do you feel like, or do you have the
mm,
energy to make a chicken salad?
mm,
She said, okay, just get the stuff and I'll make it. Bet, bet. Now, mind you, typically, we'll do the leftover chicken and whatever else to make the chicken salad with that. But for, desperate times call for desperate measures. So we'll just go grab a rotisserie
mm,
chicken real quick, shred that bad boy up and let her work her magic. When I tell you, I was
mm.
so disappointed that I couldn't go out there and get me another plate yesterday. But it's okay because I'm gonna have me two sandwiches
Ain't
tonight.
no wrong with that.
Them oh my God, they are so good.
Mm.
And I've never had anybody make chicken salad like she makes it. I gotta get
Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah.
yeah.
I
You
have to
you
figure that
gotta
one
you
out.
gotta you
Get my
gotta figure
recipe.
that thing out. But like I was saying, yeah, you have to yeah, you gotta be real mindful when it come to that, man, because everybody that chicken ball is something else, man. You cannot play with that. You cannot play with that darn chicken ball.
And I've seen
Mm,
it where people have made attempts on chicken bog, and I'm like, bruh, nah, no. They either,
mm,
like you said, the rice is either overcooked or undercooked. They either scorched the bottom of the pot, big no no, or check this one out. I've literally had chicken bog. I don't know how
mm.
they cleaned their chicken, but it wasn't cleaned the way that
Ugh.
I'm used to, and the chicken wasn't cooked all the way.
The thing about it is that big ass pot. How you not gonna
No,
cook the chicken all the way?
see, I don't know what it was, and I don't feel, I don't know. I don't know, but I know the chicken was not cooked all the way because traditional, like the chicken bog that we're
Yeah,
used to, it means that chicken is falling off the bone. You will literally scoop up a big spoonful of
yeah.
that chicken bog, and you are liable to pull back bones because the meat has fallen off of it. Fine, no problem. But if I
Mm.
pull a spoonful of chicken bog, and
Yeah,
that
we
chicken's still on the
can't be
bone,
we just
that's a problem for me.
that's something we cannot do. That's what we just can't do, man. We cannot do it. What am I looking for here? Nothing too important. Nothing too important. But
I
anyways,
say
as I was
no,
saying
honey.
earlier, yeah, when it comes to that chicken ball, man, you can't be you can't be pea footing around with no stuff like that, man. You really can't. What's a culinary story that I have? So I remember, and I think I already told that story. I think I did on my appearance on the Porch Perspectives, but you should check out right now on YouTube. Um, you got to slide it in there. You got to. Um, now I made something and it didn't
I
turn
mean,
out
I
right,
like it.
or I think it was that specific story. But yeah, you got to go to the episode to hear that story because I don't want to be sounding repetitive and everything. So yeah, it's just I really, my mom passed away in 2018, and I miss her cooking. And the next closest thing to my mom's cooking is my sister's cooking. It's. I make sure before I leave to come back to Ohio, I go have dinner at her house. I don't care what I got going on. I don't care if I had lunch and got appetizers back. Why you getting appetizers for? I'm like, look, my sister finna cook dinner, and I'm finna troll down. I'm finna put on 5 pounds right there at the table.
You know what's funny? And I would have to get my brother to, put his 2 cents in on this one. But when it comes to family cooking and family dynamics, I can tell
Hmm.
you, okay, so on my mom's side of the family, the number one cook in the family,
Oh,
believe it or not, was my grandfather. My grandfather knows his way around the kitchen like nobody's business. And when I tell you, I remember when I was
hmm.
pregnant with my first son, I was living in South Carolina at my grandparents' house. And every morning I got up, grandpa's cooking something. And I got to the point where I'm like, look, I'm pregnant. I'm walking around here
Yep,
waddling. I'm about to be your
yep.
guinea pig. Whatever you're cooking, I want some. I don't care what it is.
Oh
When I
my
tell you that's the
God.
first time I've ever heard of
Whew.
Hoppin' Johns, never heard of it a day in my life.
Mm.
When I tell you my grandfather, he bust out with that cast iron skillet.
Oh no, hold on, not come here,
He
again.
talking about, come here,
Hey,
gal.
look,
Sit down right there. Let me show you something.
like,
That's how my
like I tell
grandfather
people,
would mess with me. Now, come here,
like I
gal.
tell
Sit
people,
down. Let me tell you something
I
real
tell people,
quick.
you go back home,
Like, okay,
you find
grandpa,
an
what
old
we
man, you talk
doing?
out the side of his
And he
mouth
would
right
like,
here. You want to keep that, in your life. You talk, come here, let me cook you something in here. Why are you talking outside of his mouth like that? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. He's a good person. He's a good cook. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
you're good. But now my grandfather, now mind you, he
Hmm.
didn't talk outside of his mouth like that. But it's just the way he said it to me. I was like, okay, you got my attention. What are we doing? And so he literally was showing me making the Hoppin' Johns from scratch, what he did. He's like, look, add your peppers, add your seasonings. You got to do this. Make sure make sure you don't let it cook too long. I'm literally watching my grandfather cook. Mind you, me being fatty McFat, I'm just sitting here like, okay, I just can't wait for the
Hmm.
food to get done. I don't care what you're talking about. Like, the food looks good, smells good. I'm ready to eat.
Hmm.
And that's what we did. That was me and my grandfather's love language, I guess you could say, was
Hmm.
food. Because every time I turned around, we were always doing something with food. If it wasn't food, it was him teaching me things about like nature. Because he's really in tune. Like he'd go out for walks and he was really, really big on
Yeah.
walking and staying fit
Hmm.
and eating to live, not living
Yep.
to eat. That was his motto. You eat to live, you don't live to eat. Okay. So he would teach me about gardening and um even down to the
Hmm.
plants that grew wild out there. What you can eat, what you can't eat. What do you use this for? What you use that for? My grandfather taught me this stuff. And my grandmother would, of course, back that up because she's got a green thumb and that's all she does is grow plants and plant more plants. But
Hmm.
they kind of worked hand in hand with it. My grandfather would teach me this stuff and my grandmother would
Yeah.
second it. So I'm like, okay, I've got it. But that Hoppin' Johns with that rice and oh my, the beans, and I don't even know if it was sausage, whatever it was, I was here for it. And like I said, being down there
Yeah.
pregnant,
That
I learned
that's.
a lot about food that time of my life. I
Mm.
learned a lot about food. Even down to I'm sorry, one more. My favorite meal, which I to this day I cannot get my wife to eat it. She will not eat it. I told her, I said, you don't know real eating until you get up in the morning
Oof,
to your grandmother
that's good.
tenderizing deer meat
With the onions in it
and
and the
frying it up
crushed red
with some
pepper.
grits.
Oh Jesus! Ooh wee.
Yes.
Now,
And
now,
God
now here's the
forbid
thing
she
about
make
deer
it
meat. Now you
gravy.
got to make sure that thing clean now, because I remember one time I messed around, I took a bite of some deer meat. And I'm like, like you forgot to clean it.
Yes.
No, it
Tastes
was
like
what
that.
happened was, like, when somebody
I
didn't
ain't gonna
clean
tell you
it,
what it
they
tastes
they
like over
left a
here,
chunk of
but
deer
it tastes like
on
that.
there, and I was like, oh, and it turned me off from deer meat for a while, but I'll eat it now. I got over it. It was just, you have to. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, like,
I
how did you forget to cut this particular small patch off this deer? Like, how?
I mean, when you look at the whole deer, I could kind of understand a
You
little
sure
bit,
did. And
but
I'm
not
so
like
like,
that much.
and
It's
I was
like,
like, my
okay, you
mom's
miss
like,
you
you eat
missed the
anything
spot,
else?
literally.
No, I didn't eat for the rest of the day. Went to the bathrooms, washed my mouth out, brushed my teeth. I was just done. But then, like, I got a piece of cake after that, and that's fine. Yeah.
Man, you stupid. No, let me tell you.
Mm,
So one thing I love about being of the South with country roots,
mm-hmm,
my because you know my grandparents, you know my mom's side of the family, you know that. My grandfather
mm,
had a whole farm with goats, chickens, all of the above, horses, you name it, they had it. And I remember, and I mean, like looking back at it now, I'm like, yeah, I probably dodged a lot of fights because had it been me
yeah.
in that situation, bro, you're not gonna tell me to eat this, and not tell me what it is. But in my defense,
Mm,
one thing that like it
mm,
kind of worked out because they know one, my grandparents they didn't eat pork, so you know it's not pork. You ain't got but too many options, and I mean, typically it's gonna be fine. Well, a lot
mm.
of people now, like the biggest thing has been that I've been hearing about is lamb. Lamb is cool, but have
I
you ever had
haven't.
a barbecue goat? What
Mm,
I tell you, my
mm,
grandmother, they didn't care. They would go out there, get a goat, slaughter him, cut him up, prep him up, clean him up, everything, and they would make goat.
mm.
Whether it was goat ribs, goat whatever, they would eat the goat. And I'm like, I'm here like the meat is
Okay.
so good. It doesn't have that weird
Mm,
taste to it or eat. It's good. It's very lean, but it's really good. But my grandmother one day she's got the ribs in the
mm,
oven and she's making some barbecue, like sandwiches, like Carolina barbecue. And so at this particular time, it was me, two of my cousins. I don't know who all was with us, but it was me and a couple of my cousins. And we stopped at my grandparents' house. I'm like,
mm.
look, my grandma's cooking. Y'all want a barbecue sandwich? They were like, hell yeah, you get a barbecue sandwich. Bet. Grandma, can I get three more
Oh
barbecue sandwiches?
man,
Yes.
and they
I said,
tore it
okay,
up too,
cool.
didn't they?
Did you tell them what it was? I said, I sure didn't. I'm going to let them eat it first. I'm going to let them eat it. They tore that thing up. And when I tell you, after it was all said and done, I was like, now,
Mm,
all of y'all can say you all tried goat. They were like, wait a minute, what? That was
yeah,
goat. I told one of my cousins, he was in the middle of eating his.
yeah.
He was like, "Oh, that's some good goat to me." It kept going. He was like, "That's some good goat."
Mm.
It's just a matter of how you prep it, how you clean it, and how you cook it. Now, there's certain animals that I'm not going to eat. Like you cannot pay me to eat
Yeah,
possum,
that's
raccoon,
some real
turtle,
living
and
off the
rabbit,
land
or
or whatever
squirrel. You can't
decides to
get.
run
I
up in
will
the
not eat
yard
that.
that day. That's what that is. I one thing I will not touch is chitlins. I can't do
No,
them.
I'm good.
I can't. Somebody was like, "Well, you ain't black." I say, how about this? I'm black, but I am don't eat whole chitlins black. That's the black I am. I don't I s- huh? There's levels to it, and
There's
I'm
levels to this. There's levels to it. The chitlins, I'm gonna have to draw the
that
line
old
at
hard
chitlins,
food.
chicken feet, hog maw, hog head cheese. I'm
Yeah, you
going
got
to have to draw the line there. Tripe. I didn't even know what that was until I was 16, and my grandmother set a bowl in front of me with
yeah,
rice, and I literally sat there and
yeah.
cried because I didn't like. I'm not eating this. I had to call my
Yeah,
dad on the
I
phone.
don't.
Mind you,
Yeah,
he's in
cow tripe
Korea.
is. It's just I don't.
They're trying to
There's
make
like,
me
well,
eat
so
this.
you don't know what you're missing. Yeah, I do. But my knowledge of what I'm missing, tongue. I don't need no. I don't do none of that. Like
I'm not eating it. Tongue.
with me having older parents, chitlins and liver, I just don't because the reason being because we had liver so damn frequently, I was like, I don't even want it because that's one of them foods where it's like, well, you have it all the time, you don't care for it. And me being from the South, I'm like, well, Ed, how you feel about sweet potatoes? Nah, I don't know how many banana boxes in my lifetime, and I'm 41, that I've seen of sweet potatoes. I'm talking about like banana box, like 4 feet, 5 feet high, 4 rows wide, 6 rows deep, nothing but sweet potatoes. Because as you know, Red, we're from a farming community. So people be like, well, I mean, like going to the store and getting vegetables, man, you better go down
Yes.
down Highway 9 and look for Mr. Yeah, what's that man name my mom
And
used to get
they
her?
put they up there. They got the sweet potatoes
Mr.
right now.
Mr. Harold. Mr. Harold Ford, rest in peace.
Uh-oh, here we
You
go.
see
Let's
Mr.
bring it.
Harold
Let's
with that
bring it.
tailgate popped open, going across 4 lanes of traffic. Yeah, me, you get them sweet potatoes. And another thing I liked like the vegetation and the vegetables is so damn accessible down there because everybody got a garden. I don't know how grocery stores survive with selling produce because although there's some things
Yes.
that you can't grow in that area, but you think you got pecans, you got apples,
Mm-hmm.
um, collards, mustards, any kind of greens. You can grow mushrooms, field
Collards,
peas, rutabagas,
field peas,
turnips, kale, tomatoes, corn. Like you remember driving along
all
Highway
of that.
9, Okra, and seeing them big ass cornfields and everything. Like, and the best thing about it was my mama
Okra.
said I can go to the store and get go to the store and get some vegetables.
Yep.
And see, my family, on my mom's side, they was from a farming community too. And that goes back to saying those doggone sweet potatoes. I'm like, look, if I don't eat another sweet potato as long as I live, I'll be fine because grandma kept some sweet potato pies on deck. Grandma, we eating cherry pie? No. Boom, sweet potato pie. What about apple pie? No. Boom, sweet potato pie. I lemon meringue pie. Boom, sweet potato pie. And the thing about it was they had them deep freezers. You know what I'm talking about, Red? Them old folks had deep freezers and them plastic containers of beans
Stocked
here,
full.
cream corn frozen here. Like my mom, number one, I miss my mom so much. Um, my mom had she had a big ass deep freezer, right? The deep freezer was older than me. The deep freezer had to be about 30 years old at the time. And when I say like
Mm.
that deep freezer damn near survived 3 generations. My mama had all her frozen tomatoes. So they go to Indigo Farms and get them strawberries and wash them off and cut them up, and you be eating biscuits. Oh Lord, I need to trip back home this summer. Um, the peaches, but go ahead.
Oh my God, that reminded me. Okay, so here's the thing. When we got back, that's what I was getting ready to say. When we got back to the East Coast,
Mm,
we went to South Carolina. We go back and forth to South Carolina, visiting, checking everything out. And every time we go to South Carolina, we didn't necessarily
yeah,
take 95 straight there because that's kind of out the way. So we take the back roads and boom, we hit 9 and this,
tell
that, and
you,
the other. When I
telling you.
tell you, you know how many stands we saw?
Mm,
Fresh peaches, peaches galore, peaches, pecans, and peaches. It got to the point my wife said, we need to get up out of here. I was like, why? What's wrong? She said, because peaches are
mm,
calling me. It's like every time we ride by, and it's like I feel it before we even get to it.
peaches, peaches,
She's like, before
peaches,
we even get
peaches,
to it,
peaches,
something
like
just
the Mario
starts
Brothers movies.
whispering,
Peaches, peaches,
peaches.
peaches, 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 peaches. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what is going on? She's like,
yeah.
well, that
Get
came
him in
later,
that
but at
old
first it was
wicker
just
basket.
you riding by peaches. When I tell you, I got boiled peanuts. I just had this conversation with somebody about boiled peanuts because they were like,
I was like, you must not know where I'm
why
from.
would you eat boiled peanuts out of a can? I said, first of all, who's eating it out of a can?
Yep. Or if your
We eat
mama
them
made
bad
them,
boys out of a plastic Ziploc
yeah,
bag. What
she
are you talking
because
about?
it's the store. I think it's over there on the Sand Ridge. Every time
Or
I
a
go home,
styrofoam cup.
I get me a cup full of them hot Cajun peanuts. Tear them things up, man. I destroying them. One of my favorite dishes to cook is sausage gravy and biscuits and gravy. I remember. Listen,
Oh, I haven't had that in a long time.
when
Quit
I'm gonna tell you
playing.
this.
Oh
I
man, I
lived in
can't wait till I'm not sick
New
anymore. I'm about to
Hampshire
make me
from
some sausage
2000
gravy.
mid 2005 to late 2009, and that's when I learned how to make a mean pot of spaghetti. If you want to hear the
Mm.
spaghetti and spam story, check out my episode of the Porch PursePectives right over here. Um, we had that. Like I said, you gonna plug it in anytime you can. Um, I learned how to make a mean pot of spaghetti. A phenomenal pot of spaghetti. That was my first time living on my own, and I really learned how to, hone skills and cook. And I made soup, and I remember I made biscuits and gravy. I'd try it, and I would get it right, and then like now, man, how you cook your biscuits and gravy? Use a little bit of flour, a little bit of milk, a little bit of some sausage. Uh, don't use too much salt because it already has salt in it, and use a good amount of pepper, and you'll be good to go. Man, when I tell you, I remember one day somebody was like, "You made this?" I said, "Yeah, I made this." It's like,
Hmm.
"Damn, this shit is good." And I forgot what they had. They had a brunch. First thing they said, "Can you please fix the sauces and gravy?" I'd be obliged to. Yeah, and they destroyed that. I'm talking about like scrape the bottom of the pot. Yeah.
That's the one thing that I miss about being down there is the fact of,
Hmm. Yeah.
like you said, like we had
Yeah.
already established, like even my grandfather said, and I see it so much now that I'm older. You eat to live. You don't live to eat. When you can change your mindset
Mm.
to do exactly that, the food hits different.
Yep.
Because even like you said, sausage gravy. Most people look at it like, oh, like biscuits and gravy. No, it ain't quite like
And it ain't
biscuits
the
and gravy.
same.
Because
It ain't the
first and foremost,
same.
they
It
are
is not the
commercialized
same.
biscuits and gravy for what reason I will never
Mm-mm.
understand. But if you know how to make it from scratch, no, it's not. It's absolutely not. But it's one of those meals, it's a staple meal that was made from bare minimum. All I got is sausage and
Mm.
this, and I. What am I going to do? Because typically, when you make something with gravy, it's always like a heavier meat, not sausage. But here we are, and
Mm.
it's like one of those meals that really made it worth it. Like it filled you up.
Yeah.
You can go about your day, and you're good. And if you have any left over, guess what? Reheat that bad boy later and make some more. But I just look at, growing up back then and the difference between,
Yeah.
you know, eating then versus eating now. Like you said, the produce was plentiful. Now, being from that area in Horry County where our families are from, the other side that I learned as I've gotten older too, and
Mm.
without, like I said, without saying names, this individual that I was dealing with down there, the whole family
Mm.
is of they like that's what they did. They fed off the land for real, for
Ooh,
real.
yeah.
Like they grew
Oh,
up doing this.
yeah.
Eating the wild berries, the wild grapes, going into the creek and getting whatever they needed out the creek. Come on now. And it was my birthday
Mm.
this particular year, and I've never, mind you, I had just went fishing like once or twice. Like I never was a big fisher, but I always enjoyed going. So my
Mm.
23rd, I think, birthday. Yep. Nope. Yep. Yes. We'll go with 23rd. 23rd birthday. Final answer.
Mm.
Um, he decided to take me to the water and said, "Listen, we're gonna get on the boat. We're gonna go crabbing.
Mm.
We're gonna go shrimping,
Sure.
and we're gonna get
You over
whatever
here
we
like,
can
damn,
get, and
I'm
that's what we're
about,
gonna
you over
do.
here,
Me
I'm
and
about
my
to get my whole damn down from the water, but go ahead.
okay, I'm with it. When I tell you, I'm when I tell you, we had crab baskets out
Mm.
there, crab nets. We had the big. They had. It was him and his uncle. They got the shrimp net, low tide, and they went out there, got the shrimp. I'm out there like
Mm.
literally because it's low tide again. I'm out there picking like the clams that I know I like to eat because I like the little baby clams. I'm picking clams up out the ground,
Mm.
throw them in the bucket, throw it in the bucket, everything throwing it in the bucket. We got crabs, we had major shrimp, clams, got a couple
Yeah.
fish. I mean, we were really like everything that you would want to
Mm.
eat, we ate it. And it was like days worth of stuff. Like I had to hurry up and we had to hurry up and get this stuff going. But it was
Uh,
just so cool to actually go out there and do it myself. And like I ain't gotta go to the fish store and pay for none of this. I ain't gotta go to the.
I'm
I ain't
telling
gotta go $8.99 a pound. But I can get out here and get it on my own. What you mean? And it just
you.
made me think back to a different time when our great grandparents were doing this type of stuff on a regular. They were going out into the creek, going out into the marshes, and getting clams and oysters and all this stuff in the different springs. Not only
Hustling,
were they
big time
feeding the
hustling.
community,
Yeah, that was a
they were
that
also
was a that
making
was
that
a that was
money
a way of
selling to those
life down
businesses
there
that were there.
when you did it. It was it was an absolute way of life
That's
because I
it.
remember. Oh man, I could talk about food for like the next hour, hour and a half because I can. I remember a dude would drive drive by the neighborhood, right? Drive by the hood. He got this white truck. He got a freeze on the back of it. I'm trying to figure out how in the hell you get one of them big ass deep freezers on the back of a truck bed and they be running. Yeah, it was the meat man. That joke would be,
Was it the meat man? I remember that when I could not have been no more than 4 or 5 years old, and I remember that because
yeah.
he's always come
He he
through with the
he
meat.
he come
But
up to the he come up
me
to
being
your
a kid, I don't
driveway
care
and
about the meat.
honk
I
the
want the
horn.
candy.
That's what do back home. That was one of the most annoying things back home.
Any
Coming up in the
candy.
driveway and honking the horn. I'm like, I got to get up and go outside. What we doing? So, anyways, um, man, we driving, man. No, he's driving up to the honking the horn and everything. Hey man, oh, where your mom at? Where that at? Tell him I got some croakers and some spots back there, and I got some shrimps back there, and and last time I told your mama, she said she wants some. She said, you like that flounder, don't you? I got about 2 or 3 of them back there for you. Hey, when you go back there and get the nice one. And I was like, shit.
Oh,
Mm,
they're not. I don't, like, and the
yeah,
times have changed
yeah.
so drastically. Like now, because you've got the wildlife conservationists, the game warden.
It's been regulated.
Y'all have come in and literally halted a way of life because that was the one thing that we used to do, and that made communities. That built those communities that you guys are
Yeah,
so hard trying to, like, at this point now in that area. Y'all are gentrifying everything, trying to get everybody to
yeah,
move out, get
and
away, buy, go, leave. But then it's like, what are y'all doing to
yep,
y'all are messing it up. Look how
yep.
many times I've had to
It's
rebuild
it's just
bridges
one of
and
those things where
rebuild
it's
roads
kind of
because
like
of
if
erosion
you
and all
can
this other stuff going on because y'all are
if you
messing it
got
up.
some land out there in the country, hold on to it. I advise anybody if you're watching this video, you watch this podcast, pay your property taxes. Pay your property taxes because I don't know how many times I've heard and seen stories about people, losing a family home because the taxes weren't paid. And it's just, and it's just that, especially us as black folks, as a community, just like I mentioned on my episode of Porch PursePectives about insurance and property taxes. Go check it out. It's important. It's mandatory, and you all need it, and so you need to do it. But I'm telling you, when I moved back home, Red, from New Hampshire, I put on about 50 pounds because I was as if my mama was the cooking was good and I was eating up everything. I would even go to someone like my old spots and I'd be eating everything. It was just I put on a lot of weight, making up for lost time back home. I really did. So yeah, one time for one time.
You know what we need to do? We need to get together one time and just do it one time for the one time. Yeah, we need to go
Yep,
down. We need to go home and do a major, like, get together.
yep. I got a
I think that would be fun. I think
listen.
that would
I
be
got a I got an
enjoyable, just
outside fire pit
for
right
old
in my
time's sake.
backyard.
I don't know how we're gonna do
I'm
it,
saying
but
I
I
got
think that
I
would be
got the
dope.
fire pit, and so let's go ahead and do that in the future. Hey man, hey man. Look here, ain't nothing for me to hop in the car and drive
Yeah,
down there.
no,
It
don't play with
ain't.
me because we'll post up.
Yeah, but yeah, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and slide on there because see, I'll
I
be
bet
driving
in the look,
77
come
south, so
just
can I go through
grab me on your
Fayetteville?
way down.
I can do something to where it does this and then does that and bring me back that way. So that'd be cool finding Danny. So let's talk about something else before I have to get off here and start cooking some food. Um, so I sent you a video earlier because somebody sent me this video earlier today, and when I say
Oh. Okay.
People say the darndest things. They
Mm.
send the darndest things.
Go
So
ahead.
I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
tell you the video that was sent to me, and I'm going to tell you a little backstory. So it's this dude. I guess it's a TikTok, and apparently it says when you're homeless and not getting a job, Gen Z. But I think so, and it's hashtag Gen Z, Thompson generate the Z generation. I think somebody took the video from the original from a live stream or something and just did a thing to it. So the dude talks about it's him and his girl in what looks to be a hotel room, right? He's talking about how he's self-made, he's a businessman, he's an entrepreneur. Everybody tells him get a job. His people have called him a punk, yada yada yada, this and the third. And he's real adamant about like not getting a job, saying that 90% of the jobs he went to, he got fired and he did that. He said he's self-made, he don't need nobody. But I did some backstory. I did some research prior to this here to our episode tonight. So dude and this girl made news because they got kicked out of a storage unit because they made the storage unit their home, you see. And you can't do that. But yet and still here you are on social media talking about how that you're, you know, F a job, I'm a businessman, I'm an entrepreneur. And I showed you that video. Red, what's your thoughts on this mess here?
You would ask me that, and I told you, I'm like, I don't know, man. Okay, 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 okay. Ooh, man. All right.
The
My
best thing
thoughts
about having
on
your
it
own podcast, you can say it.
are a lot. That's a lot. So,
Mm,
I mean, you're right. I just don't want to make nobody mad. I don't want to irritate anybody. I don't
yeah.
want to, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but at the same time, I'm like, make it make
Mm,
sense. If you're gonna say I'm an
mm,
entrepreneur, F a job, that's your prerogative. You can say that.
mm,
I just don't understand.
mm,
Okay, and I'm gonna just a little bit of backstory, not too much with me. Okay, I've been there, and the one thing that helped get me out of that hole was a job. I could be an
mm,
entrepreneur. I could be self-made, but it doesn't stop the bills from coming. It doesn't stop anything from needing to be paid. So
mm,
until I'm seeing the fruits of my labors from my entrepreneurial side, let me just go ahead and work this little 9 to 5. That's guaranteed income. That's something guaranteed coming in. And then all I have to do is budget
yes.
this and budget that and say, you know what? Whatever I got left over from
Mm-hmm.
this, I can put towards my entrepreneurial. I can put towards my business. I can put towards myself. I can reinvest in myself. But as long as I'm just, oh, F a job, I don't need a job because I'm self made. Doing what? That's my question. That's the first question I had. What are we doing? Which you can't knock it because, again, you went from living in a storage unit, you got to pay that somehow, to it looked like you're in a hotel now. Got to pay that somehow. So I can't knock the fact that you're not, I'm not saying you're not self made, but I will say that
Mm-hmm.
if you're not happy in your situation, then there's some more stuff that needs to be done. But then again, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to point the finger and say, "Oh, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that." Whatever, different strokes for different folks. If you're happy, hey, that's all that matters to me. If you like it, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not about to sit here and call anything. It is what it is. But as far as for me, nah, I'm gonna work a 9 to 5. If I'm gonna be self-made, I'm
Mm,
gonna be self-made, but I'm still gonna have that job to back me up because I need some form of stability. I need something that's
mm,
going to be guaranteed. I know for a fact right now, I know every 2 weeks I'm getting paid. I got a check coming in every 2 weeks, like clockwork. Regardless of what else happens, I got a check coming in every 2 weeks. Whereas it's even like, let's just use this for instance. If we were monetized, if we were making money off of this,
that's true. That
is
is
it
true.
guaranteed? Every is like, can I
Yeah.
guarantee it like clockwork? And that's why I'm like, you gotta weigh your, weigh it out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't get me wrong. If you got it and you're doing that great with your business, then by all means, do you. I mean, congratulations to you. I'm not here to hate or take away from nothing nobody's doing. But if it's not working for you, then you need to regroup. You need to regroup. And it's just like I got so many thoughts and opinions about the stuff that I saw in that video, and I'm just like,
Just putting on a lip gloss.
as a
I'm
man
gonna tell you what.
and as a grown woman, because the girl just sitting on the bed like, yep, yep,
I'm gonna tell
we
you what.
are.
No, that's good. I'm glad because I always
Hello.
like to hear an outside perspective on
Mm,
the Porch PursePectives podcast.
sorry.
Eh, I look at it like this. There's nothing wrong with want to be a business owner, having your own business. Because face it, I don't want to work for somebody all my life. I don't. I think I'm talented enough and skillful enough to make some things happen. Now, I might need to take some business
Right.
courses and do this and the third, but that comes with the territory. But as far as me being able to survive until that pops off, that's priority number one for me because I have a list of responsibilities other than just, you know, here in Ohio. I have other responsibilities, in South Carolina. I just have my responsibilities in general. So for me, it's just a fact that like you said you got fired from 90% of your
Hmm.
jobs. Do you have a problem with authority? Is that not what you want to do? Because I was told, they said, look, man, we know you want to get from the anthill to the mountaintop, but in between there, you're gonna have to do things and sacrifice some things you don't want to and do some things that you don't want to do to get to there. I fully understand that. Like my job now, come March the 4th, I've been there 10 years. That's the longest I've ever been committed to anything in my life. 10 years. And the thing about it was my job has provided me the ability. Some people call it a luxury. I don't.
Mm,
My version of luxury is differently. It has provided me the ability to transfer from Atlanta to here to Ohio. And hey, I need to take a day off to do this, this, and this, but work me these two doubles and a single shift here, and I can get that. Hey, I want to go home for a week for Thanksgiving. I know in the middle of October I got to bust ass for a week straight to cover that. So that way when I'm gone, I'm not in the hole. I just go pay the bill, pay the bill, pay the bill, or pay the bills ahead of time. Now, don't get me wrong. Like my business, you know, I want the podcast thing. I want all my podcaster strives. I like to be a podcast consultant. I like to be, I like doing video live stream. I like doing multiple things. And I figure, okay, well, if I'm doing the multiple things for other people, how about I take that and turn it towards me? Recognizing that you have a talent and a gift. And like they said, your gift will make room for you. But to drag somebody into your dreams of having a gift, now their quality of life is affected because of your dream or your goal or your ambition, whatever. The thing about it is, you have to have a starting point. And the fact that you decided to live in a storage shed is kind of like, mm, shouldn't you be concerned with, even if it's temporary, shouldn't you be concerned with finding at least a proper living environment? Hell, it's just him and her, one bedroom apartment. That's one bedroom, one bathroom apartment. That's all y'all need. It's just y'all. Y'all ain't got no kids running around nowhere. That's all you need for that point in time until you can go from an apartment to a condo or from an apartment into a whole house, which means you got to work even more to make sure you keep that and don't lose that because you miss a mortgage payment. It's back up on the block. It's gone. You don't pay them taxes. It's back up on the block. It's gone. So hold on one second. So I just
mm-hmm.
see it as there's nothing wrong with working and having an entrepreneurial spirit and wanting to really, you know, make a name for yourself. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, but dude, you have to realize it's levels to it. It's steps to it. You can't wake up one morning and then back, well, I'm gonna do this and everything else. I mean, you have to have, well, not have to, but you gotta think about your needs and necessities. Okay, you know. your life insurance, your car insurance, utilities, food. You have to think about all of that. All of that encompasses. But still, you still want to have your dream as a business owner. You just have to be, it's okay to dream and want and hope, but you just have to be smart and you have to be smart and make real calculated steps. You have to. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with wanting all that and nothing wrong with being all that and saying what you want because a lot of people run from stuff like that. I've been told for years, man, you should have your business. You do this, you do that. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I've kind of gotten my own way. I ain't gonna lie to you. But now that I've seen now that I've had a chance to sit back and look at the bigger picture, I'm like, oh, all right, okay, yeah, this makes sense. Oh, damn, okay. And you start putting the things together. You got to have a plan. You got to have good people in your corner. You got to have good backing. And I ain't gonna lie to you. You notice the girl in the video, she ain't say a damn thing. She ain't say nothing. And I'm gonna tell you what, silence is loud as hell. Because if you go back and look at that video, the first time she nods to him, she nods him, kind of looks off at and looks away from the camera. All I heard was, why he doing this? I'm trying to love him and back him, but why is he being extra? I hope he stops soon. And she just do, and to me, it's kind of like you're just doing all this extra stuff, and then she's kind of like once again, just
Because
looking at him and putting on a lip gloss and like, is it too late to move back with my mom and daddy? Did I make a mistake? Mm,
and that being said too, the funny part about that is just looking at the dynamics with that situation. I guarantee you,
mm.
her family's calling her. I told you he wasn't no good.
Yeah,
Why are you
because
going through that when you don't have? Because I've heard
either
it
she
from my
loved him to
family.
death
Why are you going through
and she believed in
unnecessary
his dream because she could have
hardship?
easily, just be like, you know what? She could have easily just left, or he done damn, or he done brainwashed it that damn bad till she think she
Left,
can't find nobody. It's just a lot going
or
on
even
mentally. It's a lot going on mentally. Ain't no telling what he said and what he done did to her, and now she just over here like, well, guess I can't
it's
stay.
so much.
Guess I gotta stay here. Guess I'm stuck. You're not stuck. You're not stuck, ma'am. I mean, yeah.
Two heads are
Mm,
better than one. That's just the way I've always looked at things. And like I said, I'm not here to judge or
mm,
make it seem like, okay, this situation, that, because we all go through our own stuff, and I definitely go through my stuff. But I will say this: two heads are better than
yes.
one. And when you got two people working
Yeah.
together to
It
make to
yeah.
reach a common goal, it works
No, go ahead.
better. It works better. It just works better. But if you've got, I'm sorry, we keep doing it. I said, well, if you've got that one person on this side that's tugging and
Yeah. What is she
pulling
doing?
and trying, and it's like, okay, Mr. Entrepreneur,
Besides sitting on the bed,
but what is she?
yeah, yeah.
What
Besides
is she
sitting on the
doing?
bed, crisscross
What is her
applesauce, and putting
contribution to
on
that? What's her contribution to
makeup,
your
a lip
entrepreneurship?
gloss and everything.
Are
And
you
I'm not
both an
saying, and I'm not
entrepreneur?
saying,
Like, what are we doing?
yeah, crisscross applesauce, putting on lip gloss. And I'm not using this as a
Crisscross
platform to
applesauce
bash
putting on
anybody.
lip
I just
gloss.
encourage anybody when you go into business, be smart and do your research and talk to people in your field that you can, you'll find you a mentor, because that was a conversation I had with myself last week. I'm like, I said, damn, I said maybe you should find a
Hmm.
career mentor, because it was a classic case of me oversharing, and then I was told something. I'm like, well, this. I just learned sometimes I got to keep shit to myself, got to keep things to myself, because it's better for my mental health, and and what it does, and then what it doesn't do, it doesn't deter me, because I told somebody today,
I mean, that
I
helps.
said, as a
I'm the
creative
same
type, my
way.
mind is always doing this. My mind is always doing this. You remember when I told him, like, yeah, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna kind of just lay down, lay around and do nothing. Nope, over there making reels and mess like that. That did not happen. I was gonna sleep in today. That did not happen either. So my mind is always
It
running.
absolutely
I'm
did
thinking
not
about
happen.
ideas, concepts, how to
Hmm.
improve this, how to do that between the Wellness Check Wednesday podcast, between the Porch PursePectives podcast, between the Sports Bowls podcast. My mind is always doing something. I told somebody, I said, in order for my mind to rest,
Hmm.
I have to be out of the state in an area that doesn't require me to overthink like that. So I'm just saying that y- you just have to be when you make your moves, man. You have to be smart. You have to be calculated. Because for me, I just know that I'm receptive. I am very receptive, and sometimes when you're saying things, it's all about the TNT, timing and tones. If you see me and like, well, you know what? Let me kind of, I better fall back for a little bit. Or sometimes the tone is just that finger wagging tone. You start finger wagging. I close. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And some people are like, oh man, that's a little. I'm learning to be more open to ideas that people tell me because what I don't want to do, I don't want to be the thing that I loathe the most, and that's a know-it-all. Because you can't know it all. You can be very knowledgeable, highly educated, but you can't know it all. You know what I mean? And it's just knowing, it's just having a wherewithal to be like that. And so that's why, like I mentioned in my Wonder Check Wednesday podcast, I'm very mindful of what I share and who I share it to. Because sometimes people want to give you advice. I just need your ears. That's all I need. I just need your ears, and I just need things of that, of that nature.
Hmm.
Because like I say, I used to share a lot of stuff with a lot of people, but now I don't share much. And just like I told somebody about, me being on social media, man, you've been mighty quiet. I'm just busy, baby. I'm working. I'm working. I'm working, baby. That's it. What's up?
That's it.
Mm.
I have a question.
Okay.
Can we do a side topic real quick because it's something you keep mentioning, and I'm just like, feel like it
Move your
needs to
mic
be
up
spoken on.
just a little bit.
Okay.
There we go.
When you're talking about being mindful
No,
of
it was
who you
it was
share
starting
stuff
to do
with.
this, and you were starting to fade, and so I was like, so yeah, so when you edit this
Oh, it fell.
for future
I didn't
reference,
see it.
if you ever see me go, that means bring it up to your mouth because
Yeah,
I
let's
think
fix
the one
that.
that's doing this right here. Bring it just a little bit.
Why did it
There you go.
fall? Probably
There
the
you go.
hair. I don't know. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, you good.
All right, we're back.
All right. Yep.
Okay, volume's good. Okay.
And go.
Okay. You hear me good? All right. Okay. So when you were talking about who to share things with, what to share, when to share,
Mm, mm,
let's talk about it. As you
mm,
know, because okay, let's just go ahead and
mm,
be honest. Let's be transparent for the moment. From day one, when I came to you with this idea, when I came to you with my vision, you have been on board since day one. We have changed a lot of things in the process, but you have definitely been by my side from day one. Like you
knee
talk
deep
about
in it.
mentorship, you have shown me things, you have taught me things. We have had late night conversations, 3 hour conversations. Like we are
What is
literally
this?
in this thing
Go ahead. What
together.
is this?
And I love that. When knees, I'm up to here right now. But it's like one of those things where
Mm,
I come up with the concept, I come up with ideas, and we brainstorm a
mm,
lot, especially as of lately. We've really been brainstorming a lot, coming up with concepts, coming up with ideas, coming up with how we're gonna do this and we should do with that. And it's working thus far. So far, so good. Just like you gave a shout out earlier, I
mm,
want to shout out anybody watching, viewing. sharing, liking, anybody that's doing anything concerning Porch Perspectives. Thank you all for one, your patience, because it's been a trial and error situation with me. Definitely been a
Mm-hmm.
trial and error. This is something new to me. Um, hence why I've got you on the back side, on the left side, right side, whichever side you want to be on. I've got you with me going through all of this. So that helps out a lot. So it's a trial and error situation. I thank those people that have
Mm-hmm.
supported, that have come back and given me feedback, people that have given me their thoughts and ideas, or
Oh man,
things that
yeah.
we can do to make it better, or things that we can do to just kind of make it more engaging, more entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
even down to the technological difficulties that we've had. I know the volume has been one of the biggest, the audio has been my biggest issue lately. But like I said, it's a process. And that's why I said from the very beginning until the future and beyond, I want to keep these videos, I want to keep these interviews. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to keep all of this stuff because one day I want us to be able to look back and say, you know what, we've come a
Mm-hmm.
long way. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is to be able to look back on where we've come from, where we started from. So that's one thing. That's the first thing I want to say. Now, back onto the subject of what I was talking about of learning who to share things with, when to share things, oversharing. You know
Mm-hmm.
that this has been my baby. This has been my pride. This has been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It's been a lot of frustration. It's been a lot of anger issues. It's been everything. And we had a situation where oversharing, or even I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even think it was oversharing. I thought it was just one of those things where, hey, if you've got an idea for something and you come and tell me about your idea,
Yeah.
and I want to do this and I want to do that, I'm going to support
Mm-hmm.
it. Who would I be to not? Oh, no, you shouldn't do that because I did it first. No. If you're going to do something, by all means, do it. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Don't step on my toes. Don't step on my toes. Because that's the issue I think that I've had in the past dealing with people. Like I said, there
Mm-hmm.
is way too much internet for
Yep.
one person to hold up. Hey, I'm gonna hold up everything. I want to do it all and just be focused and self-centered on me. There's way too much internet for that. Cut it out. It's not even that deep. But what I will say is when somebody shares information
Yeah.
with you and you take that information and use it for your own benefit or your own gain, but you don't change it, I know they got laws, copyright infringement, and all that
Swagger
other stuff going
jacking.
on, but that's not even copyright infringement. That is a blatant case of
Swagger jacking. Swiping.
help me out with this one.
How am I mess on the wash? What you doing there? Stealing. Right again. Want to see it again?
Swiper those
Zzz.
swipey.
Stealing. More time in case you blink and missed it. See that? Zzz. Stealing.
Oh my goodness. And don't get me wrong. I think with my
Mm,
situation, like I told you a while back, it would have been an
mm,
easier pill to swallow had I not known this individual. Like we've talked,
mm.
we've been in each other's physically been in each other's company, had
Yeah.
conversations, and then this is
I,
like
I
for a
just say
while. Like
like
I've known you for a
when it
long
comes to
time.
this, doing
And
this whole
granted, we're not like
podcasting
this or anything, but it's
space,
just the fact that I know you and you
um,
swagger jack.
you take bits and pieces of certain. I don't want to say I'm guilty of it because I'm not over here just trying to make the topic a same way. I mean, for example, you look at the Sports Bros podcast. We have our final segment is called Around the Pepper, where it's three topics, rapid fire style, kind of sort of not really here to engage, educate, enlighten, and entertain. The four E's in no particular order. What I do with that is myself, Scotty D, Be Live. Since we can't cover all the news stories in the world of
Mhm.
sports, we find three top stories, be it funny, be it sad, be it whatever, and we talk about it for like a minute and a half, and we kind of go around. We go around, we go around the horn or whatever. And matter of fact, there's a show on ESPN called Pardon the Interruption, where they take like a minute and 2 minutes and talk about a topic and move on throughout the show. That's kind of where we got the idea from. But the thing about it is, it's not too. it's not as fast. It's a little bit slower, but we've cultivated and made it our own version of PTI, so to speak. Mm,
And that
mm,
works, but don't you didn't it's okay. It's one of those things where you
mm-mm.
literally took what I said, and because it came out of your mouth, it makes a difference.
We got a pachyderm in the
No,
house. No, but go
it
ahead. What's up?
doesn't. And since we're here, I'm gonna go ahead and address the elephant in the
Mm,
room, if that's okay. But you know
mm,
what I'm talking about. I want to
mm.
talk about it because it's been
Mm.
working. It's not even been getting on my nerves, but it got on my nerves at first. I vented to you
Nah.
on numerous occasions. We have conversed about it, and it's just kind of where it landed.
Hey, that's a good thing. As long as you got them damn lights on, boy. You got
I'm
them damn
sorry, I
lights on,
thought
you good to
something
go.
vibrated down there. Okay, phone's right there, so it wasn't my phone. I don't know what it
Yeah.
was. Don't judge me. I got my lights on, so I'm not scared. Yeah, as long as these lights don't go off, I'm
Mm,
great. Um, but
yeah.
the thing that gets me, it started real subtle. Because you remember the first time I saw something, I told you. And I was just like, look,
Mm,
I could be tripping, but just let me know. And every time I see something, I'm gonna let you know. And you're like, okay, let me know. Just
mm,
let me know what you're seeing. Let me know what's going on, and we'll figure it out together. And it got to the point where it was
mm.
me, you, my wife, and another one of my friends.
It
You
was a
guys
cl-
were the ones that I was going to with
it was a
like every
classic
time
case
something
of
happened, I'm like, okay, look,
I'm
this is the
doing
first
this.
thing.
3 days later, it's over there.
It was the
All right.
whole logic.
I'm doing that. 3 days later, you see it again on that front. And then the final straw was you you're doing this, and then you see this again. That's when I said, you know what?
Yeah,
Where there's smoke, there's fire. And people have patterns. People have patterns. And when you see it once, okay, okay, it's not what I think it is. I could be tripping. You see it twice, I'm paying no attention. And that third time, okay.
I could be tripping.
All right, okay. I see what's going on
Right.
here. I see what's going on here. Yeah, it's just
Now I'm paying attention.
you have to you have to be mindful when it comes to stuff like that because it's kind of like I said, imitation is the purest form of flattery. But when it's to the point to where it's like, hey, I see this, well, I'm gonna do it like this, I'm gonna do it like that. And the thing about it is like you can do it like that, but what you but what you have to do is you have to make it to where it's not like somebody from the outside, like, oh, round the pepper, oh, y'all got that from PTI. Choice of the voices, y'all got that from somewhere. The top of the order,
Blatant.
oh, y'all got that from here, here, and here. The thing about it is like you can be similar and not be blatant, but soon as and different. But when people start seeing it and it's blatant, they're gonna start looking
And
like
different. You could be
no kind of
similar and
creativity, no
different.
kind of originality. Because we've seen you because that's kind of like the whole thing with the comics now. Um, People stealing jokes and stuff like that. Like Cat Williams
None.
said that Cedric the Entertainer stole one of his jokes, and then Steve said a joke like that is something called a
Hmm.
stock joke. And I'm like, for y'all to be comedians, boy, y'all start 2024 all strong in a mug right now. Yeah, y'all right here starting 2024 stronger than a mug, being crazy. I'm like, man, what in the holy hell is going on? But some people I don't want to say
Hmm.
some people
Yeah.
do lack originality because they don't know how to be original. They feed off of something else that they see and try to pattern it to their vision. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But see, the thing about it is the real pay attention. The real sees authenticity and mockery. I don't know if that's right what I'm looking for, but yeah, people can see authenticity and imitate. Yeah, people can see authenticity and imitation, and they can put two and two together. So it's just a classic case of, when you're doing something, you
Imitation.
have to
We'll
come
say that.
off like, matter of fact, a little known secret. Well, it's not secret, but I mean, if you know me, you know me. I've been involved in music since 2002. Every song I've written is all mine. I've sat down from my first song to my last song. I've written all my
Hmm.
own songs. When I was doing my little comedy videos on my other YouTube channel, from video number 1 to video now, I produced over 129 videos. I don't know how that amounts in hours, but I produce a lot of creative content, original creative. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of original creative content, like jokes. I wouldn't tell nobody jokes. I would tell my own jokes because I didn't understand the concept of comedic joke right. I understand that, but now I kind of get it now, and now I see how it is. Like, hell, it's just like writing a song. You want your song to pop off, you got to write your song and practice it. You want your jokes to pop off, you got to write your jokes, and you got to practice. You got to practice your material. You got to practice your content. So your followers, they can see the difference between the imitation and the OG original. You just have to, like I'm saying, like you can. I look at a lot of stuff. Like I said, I look at like I said, my podcast. You look at some of the big dogs that's doing it. Okay, how can I put my spin on it? How can I put the Eddie Cool touch on it? Instead of doing like this, I'm gonna do it like that. Like the idea is there, but the presentation, but my spin on it, you don't even know it's you know Joe Blow and them unless I tell you it's Joe Blow and them. And I'm not gonna tell you Joe Blow and them because I am talented enough to buy. You know what? Let me make this mine. Let me make this mine. Let me make this original, original. Excuse me, original and natural as possible. Let me do that, as opposed to just you do something and you see it 2 days. And the thing about it was, it's just the fact that, like, soon as you did it 2 days later, okay, you did it 2 days later, and that third time, it it was too damn
If it
close.
was even a 2-day wait,
It was too
it was
close
like
to
I do
be
something,
like,
and then a few minutes later, it got to the
it was
point where
too
it was
close to
like
be
within
coincidental,
minutes of me
if that
doing
makes
something.
sense.
Boom. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. That's the same thing I
mm,
was thinking at first. And then the crazy part about it, I think the nail in the coffin with that situation. And at this point, I'm just going to be prepared for this one. This is what I'm going to call
yeah,
this portion of this. What we're talking right now is going to be, I'm going to name it.
yeah,
A hit dog will
yeah.
holler. Because if it don't apply, let it fly. But at the end of the day, it is
Mm,
what it is. I'm going to speak on it. After everything was said and done, that's when the subliminal started flying on social media.
yeah.
You blocked me on social
Mm,
media. You blocked me everywhere on social media, basically. You blocked me like I did something to you because you can't be original and you don't want to face that. Then you make subliminal posts about if I did something, we can talk about
mm,
it. You can come to me and talk and talk. We can talk about it. We can talk it out. Here's the funny part.
yeah.
Knowing that my wife and this individual have a relationship, I didn't want to mess that relationship up. So I was just like, babe, you take care of it. That's your people, you take care of it. The minute
Multiple phone
that my
calls.
wife said, okay, I'm going to make that
Mm,
phone call. It was not one phone call. It was two phone calls, I think. That both it was a couple of phone calls. But every time my wife called, hey, I'm gonna call you back. Okay. Never call back. My wife call again. Yeah, man, I'm gonna call you back. Well, you said that time, you still ain't call me back. I know, I got you, I got you. Never called back. But you make the post about coming to you, talking to you, and addressing an issue if there's an issue. My wife tried to address the issue because it was becoming an issue, and you ran away from the issue at hand. Then you turn around after you avoided her phone calls and you
Mm-hmm.
avoided feeling the fire behind what you did, your actions. You avoided dealing with that. Then you turned around and blocked your friend. You
Yeah.
blocked phone calls, you blocked social media. Now we're blocked. I don't care. Because in all due reality, all you're doing is you're messing up your creative juices because apparently you were getting them off of me. And that's funny because I'm new
Mm-hmm.
to this. I'm learning as I go.
Yeah.
And instead of you coming to us and saying, hey, look, can you help me? Can you help me, direct me? Show me something, teach me something, because this is new to you as well. Instead of being that person,
And
you
you
start
were grateful for it.
moving weird. And all of this honestly started
Mm.
at first because, you did me a favor and I was going to return the favor. Very much so, but I was going to return the favor, but then you started moving funny and I don't do that. Because as soon as I did the favor and then you popped up doing everything that you're doing and then you popped up taking everything, if I say this is what I'm doing with my thing and then you turn around on your platform and say you're doing the same thing that I'm doing, we know each other. Like I said, it would be no issue had you been a complete stranger and I didn't know you from a can
Mm-hmm.
of paint. I wouldn't even care. But just for the fact that I know we had that conversation is why I was so irritated with it and why it hurt me so bad because I literally encouraged you to go for it. I had that conversation with you. And then you turn around and take everything that I showed you
Mm-hmm.
thus far and said, okay, I'm going to take everything that you said and I'm going to wrap it up and tie a bow with my name on it now. And then
Yeah.
you wonder why we're not engaging with you, why I'm not responding to your text messages asking me, when do I want to come on? I don't. I don't. Not right now, not until that conversation's being
Mm-hmm.
had. And I'm adult enough to have that conversation. But the thing is, again, I didn't want to step over that boundary because, again,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know me as well as you know my wife. You're my wife's friend. You're not my friend. We are cool.
Yeah.
I don't have no
Like
issues with you. Ain't no beef. I'm here for you as a friend. Off of the strength of my wife, I'm here for you. But don't let things get you. Please don't get it twisted, sweetheart. You don't know me. I don't know you. And it's not a matter of beefing with anybody, but it's just a matter of you don't know me like you think you
mm-hmm.
do. And for you to try to pull that move on me,
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna work. It ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna work. And it's not that I'm wishing anything bad on anybody for what they're trying to do in their endeavors. But I'm gonna just say, like, I look, this is the same mentality I used to have when I was locked up. I was in jail and I was in prison.
Yeah.
When females treated me jacked up because of whatever, if I knew that I didn't do anything wrong,
Mm-hmm.
my favorite saying was always telling them, "You'll need me
You trying to
before
get
I
the hell
need
up out of
you."
there? Come here.
And every time it came to fruition. Because keep in mind,
Yeah.
in county, I was the braider. You got to go to court. You want your hair looking halfway decent.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do my hair? Oh, now you want to talk to me. That same situation is going to come a time when she's going to need or reach out. You're going to need my wife, if nothing else. You're going to need
Mm-hmm.
my wife. And you're going to have to be adult enough to take full accountability for what you've done. You've created this
Mm-hmm.
situation. Because it could have been solved, it could have been easily handled, but you chose to take the childish route. I'm going to make subliminal
Yeah.
posts. I'm going to block you. I'm going to block her. I'm going to block, block, block. I'm going to avoid. I'm going to avoid.
Yeah.
Say something,
I
you're
think a
off
lot of,
me.
yeah. Real quick, I think
Okay, let's see how far you
to
get
put a
with it.
cap on that now and forever.
I wish you nothing but the
I
best,
think
but
that when it comes
watch
to
this blow
asking
up.
for help, some
Speaking
people
of
are
blow
real
ups,
apprehensive about it,
go ahead.
and some people feel embarrassed, and some people view it as a sign of weakness. But what you like, but I look at it like this: if I want to excel in my career, I need to holler at some of them big dogs that's been doing it. I need to holler at somebody that can give me some sound advice. Because, like I said, I don't know everything, nor do I claim to know everything. Even about this endeavor that we're on with the podcast, or my podcast in general, I'm learning a lot. I am still learning a lot, and I've been an active podcaster since 2019. So yeah, 2000, huh? Yeah, yeah. I've been doing this for damn near 5 years. Hell, 6.5 if you want to count
You got 5 years on me.
my other small little podcast I used to have when I was living in Atlanta, Mother Sports Podcast. So I've been doing this roughly about 6 to 7 years in that neighborhood. And it goes back to what I told you, since we're being transparent and don't cry. Like I said last night, and like I told you this morning, and like I've told people, in like, well, my small circle, I said, I wish I had somebody in my ear on how to do a podcast like I'm in your ear about doing it, as being like a mentor, an example, guiding. I just woke up one day and I said, I'm ready to create a podcast. And like I've told you one time, yeah. And like I told you, I said, I think one of the reasons
Mhm.
why I did create this podcast was because, you know, my mom passed away in
That sounds like
2018,
me.
and I needed something to immerse myself into, because I couldn't call my mom and tell her about good advice and da 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 da, because I talk my mom like 2 or 3 times a week. So I taken this podcast, the Sports World Podcast, and I've just put all in it. I've put all in. So people are like, well, it's a hobby, it's a this, it's a that, and you got to make money and da 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 da. And I told myself, this is a labor of love, and whatever people say, let them say it. Don't react to it, because your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, your plans, your wants, your hopes, and your desires. You know what you want for you. You know what you want for you. And I tell myself every day to keep going. But then I remember you told me, like, you know what, don't beat yourself up like that, because we're all in this learning together. I'm like, you know what? That is right. And I think that some people that don't ask, they feel it's a sense of pride. Like, well, I'm not gonna ask him. But some people are just, I'm just gonna figure it out. But if you know somebody personally that you can call and talk to, that's doing the same thing you're doing, you, my friend, you might want to link up with this said person. Because yeah, networking, yeah, yeah, networking, and yeah, network. Okay, well, can you help me with this? And just like, okay, well, I know somebody. Okay, you're looking for a guest. Matter of fact, prime example, I
It's
was on
called
a
networking.
podcast. I'm gonna look it up real quick because I want to Ride Home Rants, hosted by Mike Bono. I think that's the name of the podcast. I promise I don't want to butcher it, Mike. If you're listening, I'm sorry, bro. A lot of stuff be going on. So how I got connected with that podcast is through a a fellow sports guy up in Northeast Ohio, high school sports guy that works for Keon Sports Media Group, Tony Bogan. And Tony, I was on Tony's podcast, tapped in with Tony last year. And Tony said, "Hey man, I know somebody's looking for guests. You wanna go on this podcast?" I said, "Yeah." So I gave it a podcast and I liked it. And then we talked for probably about like 4 or 5 months. And then finally, like around October, November last year, we finally made it happen. See, that appearance on the ride home, yeah, the ride home rants with Mike Bono, that probably would have never happened if I didn't have that interaction with Tony Bogan. Just like, say, like you start a podcast and then somebody start listening to you, and then they ask you how to do it, and then you refer them back to me. It's you
Hmm.
keep giving, you keep giving, you keep giving, you just keep giving, because yeah, mm, yeah,
And that's what
mm,
networking is about. It's just like, I'll be honest with you. Like my dad had told me when I
yeah,
first told him about me starting this. Can you hear me good? Okay. So he's like,
mm,
you need to network and reach out to people that you don't know and reach out to people that's doing the same
mm,
thing. I'm like, yeah, that's fine and dandy, but I got to start somewhere, which is why I'm like, okay, look. I've got somebody in my corner that has my back. He
Mm,
literally is like, okay, you shoot me
mm,
people like, okay, what do you think about this guy for an interview? What do you think about that for an interview? I've been pretty much pushing
yeah,
my own
yeah.
stuff, and it's like, okay, any feedback I can get, give it to me. Give it to me. I'm here for it.
Just like tonight,
When,
I was like, I want to go on the porch. I
other
want to go on the
co-hosts, when
porch.
Charlie
I want to
wants
go
to
on the
come up with a
porch.
topic and she's like, look, I want to talk about this. Let's get it. Let's go. When you decide, hey, you know what? I'm ready to get back on the porch. What's up?
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm
Technically
with it.
speaking.
I would, well, like I said, I'm not really under the weather per se, but I'm under the weather. You know what I mean? So, but I'm,
Mm, yeah.
yeah, technically speaking, I'm under the weather, even though
Mm,
right now I'm a little congested. I don't even know where this came from, but whatever. But I haven't had a headache in a whole 24-hour period, so that's good. But now I'm congested, and I thought it was probably the vents. I don't know, but I just I've networked with different
mm-hmm,
people. I see, if I've ever reached out to anybody as far as, hey, do you want to come on a podcast? It's because I see
mm-hmm.
you doing something interesting, something grand, something great. And I want to go
Exactly.
ahead and say, you know what? You
Mm-hmm,
would be a great person to actually get more information on. Let me see how we can help
mm-hmm,
you. It's not even just about me getting content for videos, because I could sit here and not do interviews with anybody and just talk to you all day. We'd be fine. I want to get other people
mm,
involved. Like, let's do this. Everybody's doing their own thing. So far, the guests that I've had, it's not been no. I can't say it's not been major, major. Like, oh my God, she got this person. No, like, it's not that thus far. But
true.
they are people that I know, people that other people know. That when you talking to them on a regular, those are not necessarily conversations we tend to have with these people. I've had. I think thus far, I'll be honest with you, outside of you and Charlie,
Mm,
and I don't want to say my favorites, but I think I have had
mm,
two guests that I have spoken to thus far in interview
mm,
that, oh my God, I loved everything about the conversations. That would be, and I'm gonna go ahead and speak on it because by
mm,
the time this one airs, that one will be already aired. But Ernest Logan, my classmate from Fayetteville, North Carolina. That was an amazing
mm,
conversation, and I look forward to doing so much more with him. And it's not even just him, it's like everything that's going on. He's shooting me ideas. He's like, yeah, that would be a great idea. You should try that. You should look into it. I'm doing it. Those are the
mm,
people that I want to network with. My other guy, Stretch, he's all the way in Atlanta, but he does
mm,
comedy, he does improv, he does acting, he does all of these things. He's got a plethora of things that he's doing, projects he's working on. I love having conversations with Stretch because he is funny. That dude is absolutely hilarious.
you already, yeah,
But
you're
it's
here
just
already. Yep.
engaging. It's interesting. And it's like
Just make sure you
having
bring
these
a bag of
conversations
ice
on
and
the
some paper
porch
plates. Don't come up
with
here empty
people
handed. What's
that's
wrong with
like,
you? No,
at this point,
I'm
once you
joking. I'm
come on the
joking.
porch or even view the porch, you're family. That's all
Yeah.
it is. We are family. Yes, and the porch is for the cousins.
Yeah. We need some libations for the conversation. So you know how we do it. But yeah.
I mean, they're gonna need something. I mean, we might need to send somebody out on a beer run.
They just gotta organize everything. Make
We
sure
do
it ain't
need to
hot as
get together
hell.
though
Just gotta
sooner
make sure
than
to keep
later
everything away
because
from the
this
damn
fire pit
fire
situation
because
would
it
be
be
a
it be getting hot.
perfect,
But we
a
can work out.
perfect
Oh,
time and
real quick.
opportunity to do a such
Another
segment.
kind of sort of
I
topic.
think that would be fun.
Did you know? Did you know that Amazon sells those portable tiny houses?
Uh-oh, he's clapped his hands. Go
The
ahead.
hell have I been? And not even looking in the damn backyard. Ain't this some boy? Look at here.
Yes.
S-
Sitting on the porch,
It came in
apparently.
a big ass box. I'm like, man, this got to be a hoax. And like, the dude went in the house. They
Yeah,
opened
I
up the. It's
saw
like
it.
a good
I
five
saw
minute
this
video. I
guy
watched
that
it
had it
twice
delivered and they were
to
putting
make
it
sure my
together and
ass
everything. I
wasn't
was like, damn.
tripping. I'm looking and they open. I'm like, it got a sliding door.
Mm-mm.
It got a bathroom that has a shower and they got a shower
Yeah, I
curtain.
saw it.
It got like you can if you pick it up and latch it over here, you got an extension to the house. And I'm like, man, and it's like depending on what size you get, one of them was like $25,000. Yeah, and that's with the and with the Amazon coupon, you get $1,800 off.
25,000.
Man, yeah, I don't know, man. I told somebody automatically. I said if
Phew.
I had the money, the means, and the wherewithal, that would for
Yeah, that's like a
me,
new car. I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of
like my
commitment.
house back home in Myrtle Beach. I'm putting it behind the house, and it is going to be a podcast studio. It's going to be the ultimate podcast. Like, what's up?
Hmm. You know what you could do?
Mm-hmm.
What you could do, and it
Mm-hmm.
sounds weird, but
Mm-hmm.
instead of the tiny house, which I like the tiny house idea, but $25,000 would be
Yeah,
realistic. What you can do though is go to
that
Lowe's,
would be nice
and they
though.
have the
That would be
sheds,
nice. I do need to
the
upgrade my
spacious,
storage house back
the
home
like storage
anyway because
sheds.
it
They're
got so much
big.
stuff in there. But yeah, I
Cause
looked. I
the
was like,
tiny
I
like
said, man,
three-bed
that's a
boy,
whole
turn that thing
damn.
into something.
I was like, man,
I
that's
think
a
we need to look
whole
into that.
damn studio. It's just. I'm like, I'm like, man, that would be so much. Like, man, I want to come out and do a podcast and we have to worry about going nowhere and paying to rent a building. And
That's
it's
what
just
we
like I
need. We
said,
need a
man,
headquarters.
if I ever get my hands on $1 million damn dollars, I'm gonna pay this debt off. I'm gonna pay this debt off first. I'm gonna pay this debt off. But if I got a little bit left over, all right, let me see what I need. What can I if I were to get my hands on $1 million, I'd
You
take
ain't
care
gonna
of
be a
my damn
millionaire.
debt. And then I would take whatever's left and invest a portion of it into myself and a portion a portion to like the podcasts and everything. It's just making sure that yeah, I mean, I don't,
Hmm.
mm, mm,
I think that would
mm.
be dope. I
In the
think it would be
meantime, do
dope.
I
And
know
I think that
anybody
we need
back
to really
home?
like that's something else that we need to like
Somebody back
brainstorm
home might
about
have a
too,
spot. They
because
might have a spot
like
in
I said, it
something. I
would
have
be
to talk
nice
to
to
them
have
because
a
we recorded
headquarters
an episode
or
of
just a
Sports Bros
spot for like a
podcast.
studio.
Didn't think about that
That would be
episode of
dope.
Sports Bros podcast. That was the only time out of 238 episodes that we
Yes.
ever recorded under one roof. And I was like, damn. Yeah, so that's something to consider too. So yeah, I'm gonna have to
Mm-mm.
go grab one of these sugar mamas out here. Hey, hey,
I said we'll definitely come. We'll definitely
hey,
touch
like
bases
like
on
I
this
tell
because
them
I
that fast.
know that
I said, look,
between me and
get in
you, we
this
can come up with
gym.
something. We
Springtime
could
coming
definitely
up.
come up with something.
Get rid of this belly.
We got to put you out on a stroll.
Yeah, I know that I got to go, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you something funny. Cause I was at work Sunday night. I said,
Oh,
man,
somebody
maybe
offered
I
to take
should
me to
pick
the
up
gym too,
another
and I was
job
like,
or whatever.
listen,
Da 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 da
the way
da.
my life is set up, what
And
my
then my
job is
right
my
knee
gym.
said, mm-mm-mm. Turning them corners that need doing like that right there, that little middle muscle going and doing like that. But I don't like that. I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like this at all. So that was Sunday. I was off Monday, Tuesday, went back to work yesterday.
Nah, bruh.
I said, ooh, I thought about it again. And then my other knee was like, I don't know, player. And I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I'm gonna roll with you, and I hear you because I'm just over here like, I don't know, the way these knees acting up. Like I told my doctor, I said I just got to get some better work shoes and lose about. I can still lose about a good 30 pounds, and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
How much? That's good, ain't it?
Look, I went to the doctor today. Guess how much I weigh? Don't judge me. 140 pounds.
You just say hi as my mom, so 5'2",
What are you looking
140.
away? But you got to keep in mind I'm short.
Ain't that bad.
It's still probably good, but I'm
My
five.
mom,
Okay, so I'm
my mom
5'2" and
was.
I'm 140.
I think my mom was 140. I think your mom was the same size, believe it or not. She, yeah, she was 5'2" and a half. Mom, how much you
No,
weigh?
but
I'm
my
still about
babe told me today she
145
was like
pounds.
140.
Mm,
Aw, ain't that special?
mm,
And
yeah,
normally that's where I've been like
you
constant
had to
at 145 because I'm
you had
like,
to
look,
keep them jokers off. Back up, back
when
up.
I first met my wife, this is funny. I
Yeah,
was fresh out of prison. I weighed 165 pounds, but I
yeah,
was solid.
yeah.
I was solid. I was like, yeah, I like this weight. I'm
Mm.
telling you, I was fighting him, but I'm like, look, look, I stepped
That
out. I
Ve-
was
that
like, there it
that
is,
Vegas
there
heat.
it is, thicker than a Snickers. But then I went out west, and it
Oh,
went from that Coke bottle shape to just there you go. I don't know what happened.
mm,
That Vegas heat took my shape. No, it
yeah.
said boom. There you go. 165. There you go. I mean, I looked like I was just a ball. I was like, ugh. I was just chunky. Everyone had a double chin. I was just chunky looking. Like, what happened? So then I've been trying to keep my weight steady at 150. Came out here
Mm,
and shape
mm.
came back. I was like, okay, cool, I can do this. But then I dropped down. Like my weight has been
What's going
trying
on,
to
man? What
go
we doing
back
here?
down to that
What is
size that
this?
I was prior
Yeah.
to
What
all
is
of this,
this?
which I was
That's like
like
me when I was
120 soaking wet.
I think that
It
when
took a lot to get to
you don't love
135.
this one. When I
So
left
now I'm
South
at
Carolina
140. I'm like, bro,
to move to
you
New
gotta be
Hampshire,
kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Why are we
I
going
probably was
backwards?
about 215, 220. Because for the life of me during high school, I was on the wrestling team, right? I could not gain weight for the life of me. I stayed at 199.9. And I wrestled in 3 weight divisions. I don't know who in the hell Coach Clay thought I was. Well, you're gonna wrestle such and such. I'm like, I'm 199. Well, you're gonna wrestle such. I'm one, and like you, we got guys like walking, like running around the high school with like garbage bags, and on top of that, they would have a hoodie, and they would be running around doing all that kind of stuff. Me, I'm over there eating breakfast pizza, 2 pieces of Thursday chicken because Thursday was chicken day. Yeah, well, I could. Oh my god,
Mm-mm.
I always had 2 pieces. I said, hey, let me get a wing and let me get a breast. Let me get that. So I could never gain weight. Of
It's
course,
that
my
Thursday
20s came
chicken.
and
I
I
remember it.
gained a little weight. And I'm, and when I was in New Hampshire, between the winter and the summer, I fluctuated because the winter's up there. Unless you're an outdoorsman, ain't nothing to do. Nothing, ain't nothing to do but stay in the house and eat and put on weight and then you right here looking around the springtime. Why is she pregnant? See the month of February. Anyways,
Hmm.
yeah, because you wouldn't do no staying in the house and eating and doing the do. That's all you was doing. Let's be real. That's all you're doing. So I got back home. I might have been about 230 maybe. And like I said, between November to right about February, I may have put on about 35, 40 pounds.
Mm.
I looked at my picture. I said, boy, you got a lot of face in that picture. And then my boy JR said, hey, man, I had it on Steve Harvey afro. Said mine was in a man unit. It was the real deal.
Mm.
I had that thing going on, and I was like, I
Said a
said,
lot.
man. And so I think I went from 275. I got all the way down to
Yeah, I remember that.
235 Cause from March to July in the gym, working out. Fix your mic again. There you go. Yep. I think it start. Uh, yeah, yeah.
In the gym.
And see, ooh, now you can. There you go. And now you can hide it. Um. So I'm sitting and I'm over here like, man, I said,
Better.
I done put on a bunch of doggone weight.
I don't know why I keep disappearing. Maybe it's because of
And
my hair.
I
Better.
think it all started when I moved to Atlanta and I
Okay.
quit
There.
going to the gym like I used to. Met old gal, fell in love, get some of them good old groceries, and just kind of just living that real, yeah, that happy weight and living that real server life. And then I moved up here. I may have been about 250, and I went to the doctor and I was like, "That's a 2, that's a 8, and a
Yep, that happy
3,"
weight.
and I was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I gotta." For health reasons, I gotta take care of that. I don't want to put myself into a corner to where like I'm active on my feet, but I just want to get rid of this belly because I'm putting on some button up shirts. I'm like, uh oh. I'm putting on some pants. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah,
Yeah, I get you.
my yeah. I think I've been wanting to go to the gym since January, but I just haven't
And
had
see, that's what
time.
I
But
be
now
doing. I
that high
wear
school
button-up
basketball
shirts at
season is
work, so
over
I just be
with,
like, all
I
right,
have
cute or
those. I have
whatever.
that period of time back as to where I can
But
go
140,
one
I'm
day
losing weight, man. I gotta get
rest,
it right back.
one day
I gotta
rest,
get it
one
together.
day rest. Like two, I can if I can average about 2 to 3 times a week, I'm good. But at my peak and at my prime, I remember I went to the gym so much. I'm like, Jer, I can't lift nothing else because we was going like that. I said, bro, we need to take a break. I can't lift nothing else. I couldn't like I was good. I'm like I could see it in like a pair of these shorts I had. It was a little big. This tank top I had was a little big, but I felt good though. And then
Yeah.
I put on some more clothes. I'm like, well, sure, I need to. I'm like, damn, I can go back to a size 38 jeans again. I can go from excuse me. I said I can go from damn extra large to a large. I actually felt like I can really do some stuff.
Mhm.
But man, I'm telling you, man, all that damn I didn't came up here. And I ain't gonna say I ain't let myself go, but you gotta think, my mom died, my brother died, went through that, going to school, going through some other things. Like life was life, but I'm at a point now. I'm like, okay, I'm in a better space mentally. Now it's time to get myself in a better space physically. So because you can't enjoy you can't like when it comes to success
Gotcha.
you can't enjoy, I mean you can enjoy it, but the way I want to enjoy success, I want to be able to
Physically. There you go.
move around and not feel winded and everything. And because eventually I want to start back, doing music again. And I don't want to be on the stage winded. Because I remember I forgot where I performed at. I was like, bro, I am not in performance shape. I am so blowed the hell up. My cardio was somebody's like, man, why you do so much cardio? I'm like, look, I get on the stage, get rapid and move around. I don't want to be blowed up. I don't want to be blowed up. That's the last thing you want, man, because you out there blowed up and rapping, it's bad for business. Extremely bad for business.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, let's go ahead and wrap this one up.
I
This is
got some
another one
leadership
for the
qualities in
books.
me.
You
As
stick
soon
a
as you like, you want
pin
to
in
take
it,
this on
stick
my
a
yeah, don't
fork
worry
in it,
about it.
whatever you
I'll
want to
find
stick
three
in it. We're
topics.
doing it.
I know we're going and
But
it's good for
it's been
yeah.
I
So with that
I
being
quite
said,
enjoyed you
we
taking
on
over this
behalf of
session. I
Nikki
mean,
Red
it's
and
been kind
myself,
of
Eddie
fun.
Cool,
Let
we
me sit
want to
back and
thank
answer your
you for
questions.
watching Porch Perspectives. Like I said at the opening and in the middle and in the closing, rate, review, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell people that you ain't so friends, go tell the uncle that you don't deal with no more. Just tell everybody about the Porch Perspective podcast. And like I said, subscribe to us on YouTube and not only hit that subscribe button, but if you go a little bit to the bell, that notification bell, hit that bell, and anything Porch Perspective pops up, you'll be the first to know about it. And I'm going to close this in Sports Bros podcast style, and in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll really appreciate it now more than ever. Be a blessing, not a burden. It's been another episode of the Porch Perspective Podcast. Thanks for sitting with us. We appreciate it.